Hi, my name's Mark. I'm a partner engineer on the ceramic team, and today I wanted to talk through how to run Ceramic-Recon locally. I'll first cover what Ceramic-Recon is. So Recon 1 is a portion of the ceramic process that's written in Rust. It's designed to replace the Kubo RPC API. And this replacement process makes the synchronization of data between nodes more performant due to how Recon changes the way nodes gossip their interest to peers. And at the moment, you'll notice as we walk through this demo and this tutorial, running a recon node would still involve running a JS-Ceramic process. And that process would be responsible for essentially doing everything that Ceramic 1 wouldn't be doing. So for example, talking to the Ceramic Anchor service for timestamping. And what I did for this video is created this repo. I'll link it in the video description. And we'll be using this as a guide as we walk through the different steps involved. And so the first step would just be to clone this repository locally. And so I've went ahead and already done that. So I'll open up a IDE. And we'll navigate to the README just to have it open as reference. And what we'll do first in setting up our Ceramic-Recon setup is just making sure we have a few dependencies installed. So first, make sure you have NVM. I already do, so I'm going to skip over this step. You should also make sure to set your terminals to use node version 20. I think, yep, mine are already preset. And then what you'll want to do is install JS-Ceramic with nightly builds. Like I said, we're going to be still relying on JS-Ceramic to do everything else that Recon is not doing. Recon is only, in this instance, responsible for synchronizing data between nodes. So after you've done that, I already have mine installed. And since I'm working off a Mac device, I'll go ahead and follow this section. So you're going to want to download the binary. I've already done this again, but just following along in the instructions, make sure you open your Finder, double-click into the package, and after installing, copy the binary into your local folder. And then finally, after we've went ahead and installed everything that we need to, you can skip down to number 5. And in one terminal, start your Ceramic 1 process. So I have 2 open side by side, and that's to be able to observe both our JS-Ceramic process and Recon next to each other. So let's go ahead and start up Ceramic 1. Important thing to note before I start this up, if you've run Ceramic before, you're going to want to make sure that you first delete your state store and your relational database file within your Ceramic folder. I think I included that in the instructions as well. Let me just make sure. Yeah, right here. So first, make sure you go into this folder and delete your state store and your default indexing.sqlite file. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll just open it up so you can see what it looks like. So I'll delete the state store. I'll also go ahead and delete this file as well. And now that we've done that, we can start up our processes. So first we're going to start ceramic 1. This, by the way, has to be started first before you start up your JS-Ceramic process. So next, we'll go ahead and start our ceramic daemon with this flag, Ceramic-Recon mode true. And this is telling our JS-Ceramic process that we're running recon separately. Great. So no errors. All right. Next, I'm going to walk through how to go ahead and configure your admin did. And after you do that, you'll be able to deploy models onto your node. And in this repository, I've actually already populated it with a JSON file. This is our composite. And these are the actual data models that are compiled into that composite. So I've went ahead and separately pre-compiled everything into this definition.json file. And we'll use this to deploy onto our node and eventually be able to boot up our interface and create model instances. So let's head back to our README. Cool. So I'll open up a different terminal. You're going to want to first install globally composed-DB CLI. I already have done that, so I'll skip ahead to the next step. So we're going to next create a private key that'll be used to instantiate a did key, and that did key will be added to our admin key or admin keys array for our node. And we'll use that admin key to be able to deploy models and authenticate ourselves as the admin for that node. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have our seed here. We'll actually use this as we go through the next step. So you can just paste in this command and then go ahead and copy over your new private key, enter it. It's not going to show that I've entered it in the terminal, so just enter it and then press enter. And then if you do export did private key, and then compose-db did from private key, it's going to read from your local terminal's environment variables. And this is our admin key that we'll add to our admin dids array, as I mentioned before. So let's go ahead and open that up. So let's see what this looks like. Cool. And so this is where we will replace what's already here with the admin key that we just created. So let's go ahead and do that. I've already copied over from before, so go ahead and save it. Awesome. So now that we've went ahead and saved that, we have to go ahead and restart our JS-Ceramic process for the new config to take effect. So let's go back into our JS-Ceramic process, which is this one. And we'll restart it with the same flag that we used before. So I'll close this and then start it back up. Great. Finally, we can go ahead and deploy our models. So if you're in the root directory of the repo that you cloned, this will just reference that composite file that I mentioned before, our definition.json. So let's do that. If we did everything correctly, we'll be able to go ahead and deploy. Great. So the models are deployed. Each of these in the return array of strings is the model ID of each of the models we just deployed. So for example, this one references the software trust score model. And again, you can find the model definitions in this composites file folder rather. So let's jump back. So I have a little section here just talking through the different types of trust signals, again, specific to the models that are used in this repo. So feel free to read that or skip over it, but we can go ahead and boot up our application UI. So let's do that. Great. And in our state management store file that I've set up here, I added the ability to switch out the endpoint that Ceramic would use. And so right now I have it set up to this experimental node that I've already deployed those models onto. But what we'll be doing is actually using the node that's currently running in these terminals on localhost 7007. And because we just deployed the models, we'll be able to use our imported definition file to cast onto our ComposeDB clients and then create model instances. So first, I'll just go ahead and show you what this looks like if we don't do anything. It'll just use this default node. Let's grab just a dummy. I'll grab the address that I'm already logged in with. So let's do that. We'll add a trustworthiness value. I'll just say honesty. Keep it as the examples. And then enter a float between 0 and 1. So I'll just do 0.8. And then our reason will be this person is honest. So we'll go ahead and issue the credential. And this is what ComposeDB is giving us back. And so here's the stream ID of the document that we just created. So like I said, what we can do now, because we have already deployed the same matching models onto our local node running Recon, we can replace the default node here with localhost 7007. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll copy over myself again. Name values, honesty, let's do 0.8. Trusted person. If we've done everything correctly, this should go ahead and write a new model instance document to our local node, and it has. Great.